back to our 4D Live. We're moving into the next phase, which is our design phase. And like before, Colin and I are both going to kind of help walk us through that. So, Colin, you got the mic?
I do. Okay, here we go. So you can see we moved on to the second D, the design phase. And we showed this earlier. So now you're going to identify a solution to the challenge you just created and storyboarded before. Now I happen to know that, I did say there was a few bright bulbs in here. I happen to know some of you have gone ahead of the script. It's okay. It's all right. As long as you get all the pieces in by the end, that's all right. You can do that. The deliverable this time around is what we call the mind map of community connectedness. And we'll show you a picture of that before too long. But I want to walk you through some ideas of how to get to the design phase. So James, can you pop up? So we're going to be, this is your next sheet that's coming up. And it's a green one this time. And we'll be coming around and putting those on your table. So we're going to, so you know, color code it to keep you on the right track. So there's a small, unreadable, but graphically correct, anatomically correct vision of what a community mind map looks like. I'll give you a bigger one in a minute. But that's the deliverable here. So your goal in this phase is to come up with one strongly unified solution to your challenge. But the way to get there, as it says, like photos, to get to a good one, you have to have a lot of it. So you might want to spend some time ideating about potential solutions before you decide on one. And brainstorm, that's the idea of brainstorming, having a lot of different ideas. More volume.
Those windows over there are actually cut.
Okay, I'll hold it up a little closer here. Okay. So anyway, get a lot of ideas that tell you, as a group, as a team, settle on the one you want to focus on. So the deliver is this community connections mind map, and it shows your solutions clarity components, much like you set up the other one, but this is a little different format. So can we do the next slide? James.
Oh, for him.
He was waiting for the next slide. Oh, before I'll show you that. So at the bottom of the sheet, these are some ways you can get a lot of ideas. And this is just for your help. These are ideas about how you get ideas. So you can use that as a tool if you like. It'll be in the bottom sheet. Oh, the lovely Bella is now passing them out. Thank you, Bella. Let's give it up for Bella for a second. Is she off? Yeah. I know. Okay, next slide, James. Okay, so here's a little closer picture of the community mind map. Let me help you read those. Those are a little bit small. So, and these are examples, by the way. These don't have to be the ones you choose. So, in the center is your solution. And then around there, mind map, it shows kind of interconnectedness about how ideas connect to one another. And so this example shows, if it has a location, the purple one up there says, where is this happening? Because it needs a physical location. So you can talk about that part of it. It's got audience over here. Who's it serving? Who can be involved? Who would be interested in helping? And those can go off into different branches, right? So you actually can answer those questions. That's a good idea. It's got support down at the bottom. Is it already happening? Does it need more support? That's your solution. A more formal description. And here's the biggest thing. I'm going to unpack this one a little bit. Down in the yellow one here at the bottom, it says, this is the test. And this is the test for any invention or any idea. When you're going to take it to market, it has to pass two tests for you to determine its viability. It first has to pass a value test. I mean, your product, your idea has to be valuable, right? Your hypothesis, your solution is saying, I have this idea, and the way you need to test it is, how will you know if people want what you have to sell? How will you know if the idea is really valuable? So, we want to know, how would you test your idea to see if it works? And the best way to test, by the way, is as small as you can, lean. How could you do micro tests to begin learning if your idea would have value. So, that's one thing that would be really good to answer, is how will we know ahead of time before we go at scale if it's valuable? The other is the growth test. So if an idea is valuable and people want it, how will you grow the idea? How will it grow from 10 people to 100 people to 1,000 people, or one organization to 10, or one club to several, or from the center point of the community out and beyond? So you need to think about those things, how your idea, your solution, will have value and growth. And so you can talk about it here. So on your mind map, you can talk about that. So we'll leave this up, and if you need to come take a picture of it. It didn't come out as clear as we thought at this distance. So this is the one we'll leave up because you have the sheets on your tables. So this is your goal, is to create your own map. And remember, these go on the 11 by 17 homework, right? So your final product, this, goes on the 11 by 17 homework. Right on? Okay, I'm going to turn it back to James for a moment and get going.
Yes, so as I went around and chatted with some of you already were developing your solution, and that's absolutely fine. One of the things that you could do, now that we've broken the stuff into two clearer pieces, is the first part is really, are you sure that you examined the challenge fully? Are there some elements maybe that you want to go back and take a look at? The second is, if you already came up with a solution, we're going to have a physical building that's in a particular place. All of that is wonderful. This is the moment to just quickly, now that you've had a little bit of a break, is this the best, easiest first solution? Right? I mean, and this goes back to the test. But you might want to come back and just revisit that for a moment to make sure that you've reimagined as much as humanly possible up to this point. So it's worth just taking another snapshot and looking at and testing it once again amongst your group. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Everyone? So I do want to reiterate what Colin was saying, is that the mind map, the physical structure is roughly similar to what you can do. There is, by the way, I don't remember where, but somewhere in this group is a tree, for example. A tree, absolutely, with branches and roots and all that, that's a mind map too. It doesn't need to be bubbles like we have put up here. You don't need to mimic this. Create what you want, what makes sense for you. And lots of times when you will have these, even if they are bubbles that come up, they have lots of connections. Oh, this is connected to that. And finally, I'm also curious, as part of your mind map, what already exists in place that may support the solution that you want to provide. There are lots of organizations, there are lots of people, there are lots of things happening in your community already, that if all you have to do is if you elevate everyone just a little bit as they're supporting what you're doing, that's where magic comes in. That is the value of the collaboration that you were talking about, for example. So make sure you look at what already exists that can help support and drive your solution. Does that make sense? You're nodding heads? Okay, good enough. We have until 2 o'clock for this portion, maybe like right at 2:05, maybe 30 solid minutes to discuss this and create your mind map. Let us know if you have any questions. Hopefully, people can look at the storyboard that you've created and have an understanding of what you're trying to do. If then they look at the mind map, they will have a greater understanding of who supports it, who's the audience, everything that goes along with the challenge that you found. So I'll bring us back together in 2 minutes to go to the development phase.
Of your solution. So we have the inventory store over here. We have 3 stations with all the things that you might need to create how you want to present it, what your model looks like. And in a moment we'll show you some examples of things we're going to need to know. But one thing is the minimum is what I'm holding right here. Whatever your solution, your model is, fits on this. Okay? So this is the thing that is built. Everything is built on, yes.
Can I just interrupt you for a second? Hey, do me a favor, folks. Especially right now at this moment, for was a lot of discussion, and after the last time there was a lot of discussion, and then there were tons of questions because not everyone was listening. So for just a few minutes here, make sure that you pay attention so that everyone is on the right track from the get-go. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Colin. You can talk.
Yeah, now it's on. Okay. And this is really great. I don't want to stop. Okay. So anyway, I was just saying that this is the base for your model. You'll need one of these, but only one. If you need more foam board as part of your model, there's more foam board again. You only use one of these.
That one is 16 by
Yeah, this is
20.
the platform. So this is what it sits on. And remember, your other two components have to be attached to it as well. Your storyboard and your mind map. So 3 components attached to a base: the model, the storyboard, and the mind map. Okay? Just want to be clear on that. Okay, next slide there, James.
Okay. Yep.
This is the one sheet.
You got Colin right now?
Helpers, do you need help passing out the develop one sheet?
Bella,
James?
yeah, they're going out.
What's the guy in the blues name?
Okay.
Red.
So your goal this stage is to find a way of representing your solution thoroughly so other people will be able to understand it. So that's what the model
I'm trying the third thing right now.
It's putting it in a form, in a visual form that people can understand.
The lighting
By the way,
without now
understand without explanation.
It's nice, crystal. Good.
So if you just put this model when you're done and you sat down on the table and people begin walking around and they go, oh, that's pretty cool. I know what that is. I see how that works. That's pretty amazing. And I can see, whoa, I see the problem they're trying to solve. And I can see their solution. And now I can see the solution in physical form. So that's how clear it has to be. It should represent itself on its own. It's a standalone. Self-explanatory. Okay. So you might want to start with a conceptual model and talk about a lot of different ways how that can take shape and form. And some of you may already have those ideas. This is the bright bulb, right? So that's great. Okay, so you're going to do your model using any materials available. So we have our stores
Just
over
let
there
it
that
go
have
back
lots
and forth
of
on the
things
screen
that you
here.
can use and decorate and draw and paint and whatever.
Not yet.
Hey, whoa, we're not there. Early adopters. Okay, you can use any materials available. What does that mean? Any materials
Okay, the
available?
little red-headed hide here, she probably caused you
Are
some
they somewhere
severe
else?
problem.
Is it something you want to go outside and get? That's up to you. Any materials available. Do
And
not
I'm not saying
destroy
that
the
would be a bad
stage.
problem to have
Important
either.
requirements. Denise is not like that. Other than that, you're able to do that. Okay, so here's some ideas.
Well, I know she's got
On the
money.
bottom part of your sheet, you'll see here's some ideas about the conceptual model, about making your model interactive. Maybe something it's got tactile or things that move that the user can interact with. You can include data or math to define your solution somehow in your model. Something that's really powerful is to use a metaphor. Metaphors are very powerful in creating a light situation. So anyway, there's lots of examples at the top of the sheets are going out. I'm going to pass it back to James now.
Great. So the last thing I want to say about this, and the reason we're doing this, the why of creating a physical representation, is that when we first talk about the challenge or what it is, we think about it in one particular way. We see it in one particular way. But if you remember going back to awareness, what are we focusing on? We want to consistently change our perspective and look at this in various ways. So then when we switched and really looked at our solution with the mind map, you actually are now looking at it slightly differently. And as we're creating a physical model, what it does is it challenges the way that you're thinking, because we have to put something together physically that now represents what's really only been up here and maybe just written down on a piece of paper. It's two-dimensional in this case. And interestingly enough, the way that we think is very two-dimensional. But when we have to create something that is
Where he's at right now, he's completely gone.
fundamentally, it shifts the way that we look at our solution itself. And you'll come up with some additional ideas, thoughts, examples, ways to communicate, ways to inspire others. So this is why we're going through this yet again, is to shift the way that we're looking at the very thing that we want to create moving forward after this conference. Does that make sense? All right, with that in mind, when you go up and get the materials, you don't need 5 sets of markers. You just get 1 set.
Yeah, he's dark enough to only
And
I
if
can
you
see
go
his
there
shiny
and you
forehead.
think
There we go.
you need
There we
something
go.
that you say,
Face
hey,
pops
there's something
back
up
in
here,
the
maybe
picture.
gone, you may have to go borrow it from another table. Collaborate, right, and share. So, in some ways, we're doing arts and crafts back in elementary school. We have to share our
I'll
resources
run up
as
there
well.
real quick
All
with a
right?
towel and
So
I'll say,
with
your
that, we
forehead,
are
your
going to be
forehead.
reconvening at 3 o'clock, and you are welcome to get going. Enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are just a minute after the 3 o'clock hour, which means we're going to transition into the 4th D, which is delivery. Before Colin walks us through this, we need to just go through a little bit of housekeeping stuff. So as you are finishing up, any of your excess materials that's usable, please take back to the original tables. Anything that is not usable, please make sure it gets thrown away. So in other words, during the delivery part, while you are prepping on how to deliver this, we want to make sure that your tables get as clean as humanly possible. Okay, so some of you, if you can just do me a favor, stop what you're doing for just a moment. You are welcome to continue creating your 3D model once we finish, as well as doing your delivery. But I want to go ahead, and for those teams who are ready to move forward, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with regard to the delivery. So with that in mind, Colin's going to walk us through what the next segment looks like.
Okay, we're on the final D. We're turning the bend. You've identified a challenge. You've come up with a very clever solution, and you've built a model to sell your idea to your community when you get back, and all these people here today too. So, here's your assignment. You're going to do a up to 3-minute, no longer than 3-minute video. So somebody in your group needs to be your videographer to film whatever it is you're going to do. And you need to think carefully about audio. So you may want to find a quiet space somewhere when you want to do your filming. And you may want to plan ahead or even practice it a few times what your film is going to be about.
Could you go to the bathroom? My friend needs some help.
So we have another one sheet coming out. Is our team distributing our one sheets? Checking in. Well, you'll be getting another one sheet, which is red this time, the deliver one sheet. Okay, this is where we're going to communicate our solution. So everything you've done, you're going to be able to share that in a compelling way. So you have lots of options to thematically do this. Could be a newscast, could be a dance, could be a music video, could be a poem, a song, a skit. Anything that you want to do to convey your message on film, this is your chance. Well, it's not your chance. You have to do it. When you are done with your film and ready to share it with us, I'm going to put a QR code up on the screen. I don't think anybody's listening, but there's going to be a QR code on the screen. Can I have your attention, please? This is really important. James, tell them.
Yes, everyone, if we can gain your attention, again, there are going to be a lot of questions after this if we're not all listening and on the same page.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Most of the questions we get are things we went over once earlier. So, yeah. So there's going to be a QR code on the screen that you'll use. Whoever is the videographer will go and use your QR, which is usually your camera. It'll take you to the site you're going to upload it to, and it simply says, go to your files or photos or wherever it's stored. You choose it, boom, it uploads. So in the end, we're going to have 38 different presentations on film that we'll have on our website for all of you to view at your leisure at some point. And these are going to be amazing. So it's too bad we can't see them all today. And while you're making your presentations, your films, James and I are going to be wandering throughout and picking 3 of you to present live on stage. So be aware of that. We'll get you prepped up so that you're not surprised by that, okay? There's ideas at the bottom of your red sheet there that you can look at, things I talked about before, just trying to give you ideas. Whatever you do, it's up to you. Just make sure it's not longer than 3 minutes, and make sure you've thought about your audio component, because if you're far away from the phone, you may not be able to hear it very well. Okay? Back to you, James.
Yeah, so for the delivery, the real key here is that how does someone who's watching this and has never heard anything, how do they watch up to 3 minutes and be inspired to want to be a part of it? How do I play? Where do I fit? This is so cool. So imagine taking this back to your community and just getting everyone to want to be a part of what it is that you're creating, what you're testing, and how you're improving the community. That's really what the delivery here is. It's not rote. It's not just going through a bunch of bullet points. Is how do you get people on board? How do you bring them with you on the journey that you've begun to take? That's the idea behind this delivery. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, one more time.
I got one more
please.
thing. Your videos should be in landscape mode, not vertical, horizontal. You know, like this, not like that. Okay.
Yes. So the audio is the biggest part. It's the hardest part of what we're going to be going through. I do have some Bluetooth mics. All right, that you can easily connect to your phone, and they connect just like this does, but they're actually very good, and you can even just hold them. All right, so I'm happy to share those. Please give them back. And we want to make sure that the audio is the hardest part of getting these done well. Find a quiet spot. Lastly, just on the logistics side, make sure that by the time we're done, which is going to be 4 o'clock, we're going to be finished at 4 o'clock. Your tables have to be completely clean. All right, so any reusable materials, take them back to the tables. We're going to be putting those away. Anything that's garbage, make sure it goes in the trash. Any questions before we begin this last piece? Yes, ma'am. The projects go, so we're actually waiting for some tables so that we can display them. So for right now, if you're finished with it, keep that on your table. Yeah, great question. Any other questions? All right, let's do it. Thanks, folks.
Hey, look, it's a biker.
It's been really great being here at the conference in Leavenworth, but I'm really looking forward to Penticton next year because I heard there's new bike lanes.
The new bike lanes.
I've got a problem. I've been really worried about my bike here, and I just don't know what to do. You know, it just doesn't feel like it's safe at the racks across the road, and so I don't know if I'm going to bring my bike to Penticton next year.
Well, let us tell you about the Rotary Bike Hub. At the Leavenworth District Conference, they had this great process that we just went through to come up with how to reimagine Penticton. Penticton has these very controversial new bike lanes that you love or you hate. And it's been divisive, but we all need bike lanes, we know that. Are they great bike lanes? Well, they're okay. Can they be improved? Of course. So we thought, how could we reimagine our bike lanes and maybe make them so that everybody loves our bike lanes? So we went through the process, we came up with some ideas, we came up with our supporters, and it was, I don't know if it was inspired by yesterday's bike event we had. And it was interesting because Brenda was part of our group, latecomer, but how serendipitous, because we came up with this bike hub idea. And a bunch of ideas around a place to park your bike safely. Maybe it's a place where we have bike rentals. Hanzik, who's our exchange student from Czechia, said they have a program there, and I know of them as well, where you get a free bike for 15 minutes, but you have to get it back, and if you don't get it back, you start paying. And we've talked about bike repair stations, a place to permanently store, temporarily store. We've talked about a place to repair your bikes. And in Penticton, there's a couple of spots where you can actually repair your bikes. So we had a lot of fun coming up with this. And if I've said enough, let me know. If there's more that you can fill me in, please do.
The main impetus of the Rotary Bike Hub is to try and make it easy for people to use the bike lanes. And so we're thinking, there's a thing called the District Wine Village down near Oliver, and we're thinking, well, why don't we have a District Bike Hub or a Penticton Bike Hub or something like that, where there's lots of things going on related to bicycles. We could have vendors, we could have rest areas, we can have repair shops, we can have a lock-up facility, things like that, so that more people will use the bikes, the bike lanes, or just bikes in general.
And we're hoping that our two Rotary clubs could work on a joint project to build this bike hub. So maybe next year at the conference in Penticton, you'll be able to safely store your bike if you bring it.
Great. I think that's it, unless somebody has questions. Thank you.
Oh, here they come. They're right on tar.
Hi, so we're like from the Rotary Club of Summerland. So I'm the exchange student, but they're like the Rotary Club. And we thought of how could we offer a way to a stable and productive life for homeless people in Summerland. And we thought that we could have containers, for example, 2 containers with bunk beds and like lockers, and then 1 container with bathroom like facilities, showers, toilets, and then 1 container with kitchen facilities. So people can sleep there, for example, during the winter when it's cold outside, and they have a place to clean themselves and cook their food. It would be together with the food bank in Summerland, so they have support there, they can get food there, and they can also volunteer. So if they look for a job, they get a good reference. If they did good helping at the food bank, so it should be easier for them to find a job. And when they have a job, they can find permanent housing, and their life would be better. And then they can also give back to the community because they are working, and it just works out for everyone. Oh yeah, they're gonna work in an ice cream shop at the beach because we don't have an ice cream shop at the beach in Summerland. And I think that's really important. So we did a board game to demonstrate how that would work. And you start with like a die, and then you roll it. And if you roll a 1, you go on the red path. And if you roll a 2, you go on the green path. And the green path is like the good way, and the red one is like the bad way. And there's like those little stars. And when you land there, you get a card. Yeah. And it says go to like another star. It says a number. So you can change paths, but you can also like improve on the good path or like not improve on the bad path. So on the good path, you go from the food bank to, how do you say that? Cleanliness? I don't know. Yeah. Or safe shelter, then to kitchen facilities and take training. And the last one is start work in permanent housing. And then in the end, you work at the ice cream shop. But if you go the bad way, which is together with like luck or yeah. I don't know. It starts with low self-esteem, and then lose the job and family, hunger, cold nights, poor health, and addiction, and then it leads to death, tragic death. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Summerland, great board game, very creative. Okay, we're ready for our last team, which has built a website. You guys ready to go? They also have a model too. And you may have to tell Todd which website to bring up. They can. It's hey Todd, can you on one of your computers bring up onekittitas.com, one spelled out, and project that on the screen?
In fact, this website is live, so you can all pull it up on your phones right now if you'd like. Go to www.onekittitas.com, and you can see where we started. So we wrote an actual pitch, and it's kind of long, so sorry. Not yet. Oh yeah. Does anybody know where Kittitas County is? Oh, we got a handful of people. Hey, awesome. Right below us. Yep, so we're about an hour south. Yeah. And that's not us. So this is our model. Our model is the picture of a computer along with a funnel. And we have all of our little people of Kittitas County right there. And we'll explain in a minute what this funnel means. Okay, well, I guess I'll explain it right now. So the funnel is built by Rotary, and all four of our Rotary clubs, so we all come from different clubs. And so the funnel is a place for us to bring together our community through the volunteer needs all across the county. My speech does a better job of talking about that. Maybe I should just get started. Okay. Yeah.
We can do the speech.
I'm just going to soldier on. If you have it on your phone, you can look at it while we do this. In the heart of Washington State lies a vibrant and diverse Kittitas County, a beautiful place where valleys kiss the bright blue skies and the Yakima River. However, within this beauty lies an unspoken divide, a subtle chasm separated one part of the county from another. The geographical disconnection, although not an insurmountable barrier, had presented its own set of challenges. That was until the launch of the One Kittitas site, an initiative to bridge these gaps and create a more cohesive, supportive community. The One Kittitas site is sponsored by Kittitas County Rotary Clubs, dedicated to the Rotary service above self. The site stands as a beacon of unity and cooperation. Its name is an acronym embodying its mission: organize needs of everyone. It's a digital platform intended to transcend the physical divide, bringing together all corners of the county without discrimination or bias. This online portal welcomes all nonpartisan and non-sectarian groups, a melting pot where different communities can find common ground. Here, diversity is celebrated while unity is encouraged, weaving a vibrant tapestry of inclusion and mutual respect. It offers services tailored to the needs of Kittitas County residents, acting as a bridge connecting those who have those needs. One of the key features of the One Kittitas site is a unique matching service. The service allows individual businesses or organizations with resources or services to link up with those in need. Other key features will track status and other data, transforming a fragmented collection of fragmented agendas into a unified community pulse. Perhaps a farmer has a surplus of produce. A school requires volunteers, or a local charity needs donations. All these can find a match through this innovative platform. It's a system based on Rotary's principle of fostering goodwill and better friendship. In addition to this, the site also boasts a comprehensive calendar of events to connect volunteers to opportunities that fit their schedule. Technology with a youth-friendly interface engages students into their community. It's a way to promote Rotary's visibility and engagement, with the invitation to attend any of the 4 counties' club meetings. It's about neighbors knowing neighbors and nurturing relationships, forming connections, and cultivating a shared sense of responsibility towards the community. This social cohesion, this community spirit, is the essence of the One Kittitas site. The Kittitas County Rotary Clubs envision this this initiative as a tool for unity, a platform that helps 2 parts of the county merge into one harmonious whole. The One Kittitas site, therefore, isn't just a service, it's a symbol of community, resilience, cooperation, and unity. It's the embodiment of community committed to ensuring that no neighbor is left behind. With onekittitas.com, it stands as a testament to the power of Rotary, unity, and providing that no divide is too vast to bridge when the community comes together. Thank you.
Truly awesome. That was really fun to see. I actually signed up just so I hope I might be the first person, maybe, to sign up. I can't wait to get some information once this actually goes back and becomes even more real. One of the things on this last one that was just so cool is that as we began this was an exercise into helping you see how easily we can actually grab onto things when we come together. The good that can be accomplished, and when we really unleash the genius in our head as a group, and by talking about things and discussing things and what's important to you, what are my beliefs, what are your values, what do we want to create here in our community. It's one of those things that we feel very siloed many times in my community. And I think a lot of other people do too. And when we can come together and all of a sudden share in something that we can create together, it just feels magical. It feels like magic. It feels truly wonderful. So I just want to say that this is an exercise to help you see what's possible, and for me to be able to actually watch these become reality, and in this case live in the space of 4 hours, I have to tell you, my heart feels full. It just feels amazing to see all of these. Here's the most fascinating part of this for me, is that you all got the same information, you all got the same instructions, and yet look at how different and valuable each one of these ideas is. Please, please take time to go through and look at all of these inventions and solutions that are at these back tables. It's phenomenal. It's hard for me to truly, I don't have the vocabulary perhaps to be able to tell you exactly how really incredible it is at what you've created. I know you've experienced it, but looking at it from a big picture is important too. So please, do me a favor, give yourselves a huge round of applause, because this was truly amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for playing with us today. This was it was amazing at every single step. And we never know, Colin and I never know how people are going to engage, how they're going to react. Are they going to embrace it? Or is it gonna be, I'm gonna go through the motions, and it just didn't happen today. Watching how engaged all of you were in the process was incredibly fulfilling for both of us, if I can speak for you as well. With that said, a lot of the hard work that we have put in front of you is done. It was challenging for a lot of people, I know, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you're actually kind of mentally exhausted. If you're feeling like, whew, okay, I'm ready to have a big exhale, that means that you worked hard at this. That is a really good sign. And I'm very happy to say that you aren't going to have to be challenged in that way for the rest of the day. So following this, we're going to clear out this room. So everyone, you need to take everything with you because we're going to completely turn the room for dinner. The beverage bar, which is going to be set up right over here, is going to open at 5 o'clock. So at 5 o'clock, which is in 37 minutes, you're welcome to come back in, grab some beverages of your choice, enjoy each other's company, and then dinner's going to start at 6. So if you'd rather not come back, if you want to walk around town, if you'd like to do whatever you'd like, 6 o'clock is when dinner will begin. Sound good? Does anyone have any questions really quick before we break? I want to make sure we're all good. And I'm sorry? Yeah. Okay, I think we're done. So you're up.
So I just wanted to remind you that you'll want to be here for dinner for sure because the food's going to be amazing. And Carl has some special awards to give out. But we have Ed Viesters in the house tonight, the world famous mountaineer. He'll talk around 7. And after that, we're going to party with the Paper Boys. Amazing band, so you want to miss that. And by the way, when you come back in, you need to get a wristband. We'll have a color wristband to show that you're a participant of the concert. So if you have family members, bring them with you, and we can get them on them as well. And then if you want to enjoy alcoholic beverages, we'll have our friend security guy out there. He'll just check your ID and put a different color wristband. So you'll have possibly 2. But when you come back in, let's make sure you get hooked up with your wristbands. Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody. Enjoy.